Hello into that one. This is, oh, sorry, lighting's off. Obviously, it's not good like this, but it's better than before. Well, obviously, this is part of our stream series of Boycott Qatar 2022. I personally am boycotting Qatar 2022, and as part of it, I wanted to try and stream whenever there's a match live, whenever I can, so that people who also might want to boycott it have an alternative in terms of entertainment to watch. And as part of that, the reason why we're boycotting is obviously the migrant worker rights situation going on in Qatar right now, which is why we're also having a fundraiser during this stream series of mine, looking to raise some money for the migrant workers' rights around the earth. There's migrantsrights.org organizations, an NGO, which look to work for migrant rights, worker rights all over the globe. They are currently fighting for the workers who were part of building the infrastructure for Qatar 2022 to receive their wages, and also hopefully working towards the overall goal of situations like that never happening again, you know, with the slave-like working conditions and also people who died under those conditions. So if you want to donate to that, you can find the link to it in the about tab of my YouTube and my Twitch. And yeah, that's about that. We always, at the start of the stream day, we already had a stream today. We donate a bit. At the end of the stream day, we donate a bit. So at the end of this stream today, we're going to donate again. If you want to do a little part to make this world a little better, every little bit helps. And it's very much appreciated. But for now, something more lighthearted, Football Manager. So yes, we have been on a frustrating run. It's kind of just not gone as well as we feel like it should have, both in the league and in the cups. We have a cup competition, the last competition. We're in the Intermediate Cup, which we went to the final at last season, lost there. We're looking to win this season, avenge ourselves. We have the first game of the stream in that. And then after that, straight back to league action. 5 league fixtures left in the initial league stage. Then there is the league split, lower half, upper half, and then the second part of the league stage comes in. We are currently just in the upper half, but obviously we're looking to push for promotion. It's quite a long way to go for that, considering how little games are left, but 10 games left, you know, never know what can happen. For now, we'll keep our eye on the Rathcole game, which is an amateur side we're facing in the 4th round of this cup. The next round is going to be quarter-final stage already. Now, tactical changes. This is the tactic that I have built to play against teams which are weaker than us, which we would be expecting to dominate. Now, first thoughts, if looking at that, are obviously going to be, what on earth are you doing? Why are you pushing players back? Because normally we're playing 4-2-3-1, wingers are advanced, but we're getting more men behind the ball by the looks of things. So the idea is, this might work, might not work. The idea is that the wingers can kind of run at that players a bit more. You know, we have a bit more time on the ball. They can run at them a bit more, and in possession, they should still behave the same as advanced wingers. But however, we're having longer periods of possession, so they have more time to get into those positions. That's the idea. We're going to see if it works out like that. It probably isn't, but I want just to see how it is. And then a couple of other role changes. We have a ball midfield on support instead of attack. He still has to hold the position, but we are giving him less restrictions in terms of how he plays his passes. Wilson, instead of an advanced playmaker, is a central midfielder on attack, shooting past the advanced playmaker, which I think should be a good way to kind of cause a bit of havoc against opposition defenses when our attacking movement is a bit predictable normally. If he comes in from deep, that should work quite well. Ward, instead of the attacking midfielder role, he plays as an advanced playmaker, because I feel like it's good to have a playmaker in there, someone who pulls the strings. He should be okay at that, not the ideal person to play that kind of role. And then, yeah, down the wings, we're going to have Barnes and normally Barry. Barry's injured now for this game. Should be back for the next game. Yip doesn't really know how to play the deeper right wing position, but we'll make sure he learns it fast enough. So those are our players down those side, and you know, they're both pretty good at dribbling, have a bit of pace, so they should be pretty effective in those positions. In the fullback roles, we have the right fullback set to be as he is, because we've got 2 players pushing on in the right hand side anyways. The left fullback we have asked to push forward a bit more, because he always has such poor pass completion. We've set him to take few risks though, because Cochrane down the left hand side is going to stay back a little bit more anyways. So those are the overall ideas. In terms of how we play, we've set it to be a super wide approach, so that we kind of stretch the position and hopefully get some space and some one-on-ones, some overloads down those wide areas. We are passing shorter with a lower tempo. We've tried to scale it all back a little bit, to hopefully dominate the play and be able to break teams down, even if they, but also stay solid at the back, which is also part of the reason we're playing two banks of four, so that we're not going to get countered as much. However, we're going to counter press because we want, to be in possession whenever we can. So when there is an opportunity to win it back after we lost it, we'll try to do that. Otherwise, this screen looks all the same. And we're going to go for a bit of a higher press, trigger the press more often, and prevent the short goalkeeper distribution. Again, we want to win the ball back as fast as we can, not necessarily in the best areas that we can. Part of that, we could trap them outside, but I don't think we want to do that just yet. Then, another tactic is just, this is exactly how we had the tactic last season when it was going so well for us. Now, I'm not the biggest fan of it by looking at it, because it was very much a makeshift, find roles for the players we had at the time. However, it worked wonderfully, so I've set it up. If everything goes wrong, we'll just revert back to this. Hopefully it works. And yeah, this is just kind of like the backup formation if shit hits the fan, just something to revert back to. Also, another shout here is normally we play with an advanced forward. This formation, we're going to go poacher because we're expecting to have less space to play balls into behind. That's why we don't have passing space turned on. And poacher is a bit more better, I think, moving around the box and just finding that one spot to finish from, which is why we're also starting up with Watts, not with Heron in there, whereas the advanced forward is better to find the space in behind. And then we have the formation which we play in games where we're about on par, or like away games where we're on par, or home games also where we're against better opposition, where we go a bit more straight with it. Now, again, counterintuitive because we have the wingers pushed forward a little bit. So in terms of positions, actually, we look more attacking. But the idea is obviously that we'll be countering more with this system. We won't have a playmaker because we're not looking for that much possession. We have a fullback on defend because we want him to stay behind the ball. And Wilson instead will help down the wide areas with Bradley Yip as a Mazal instead of an advanced playmaker. Other than that, the roles stay largely the same. Obviously, attack midfielder instead of playmaker, as I mentioned. And this up front will normally be advanced forward unless Watts plays it. And here we will go faster, not super direct, but faster. We have a balanced mentality. We have a fairly narrow attacking width because we want to go straight through the middle. That's the idea. Passing into space because we're hoping there's going to be spacing behind for us. We go low crosses because the idea with low crosses, it works even better when there's less people back, when you can play it behind the back line or just through the lines. When they have time to set up with the defense, I don't think it works that well. In the other tactics, we have it set to mixed crosses, but we don't really have anyone with much aerial presence, so low crosses is generally not a bad idea. Then when the possession has been lost, we regroup in this one, not pressure them too high. Otherwise, this is the same, and we're just a bit more conservative with a mid block in this one. We still trigger the press more often and prevent the short goalkeeper distribution, so that we can win it back and then up the pitch again. So that is the idea. We have a bit of a rotated lineup for this match. A, because it might fit the tactic better in some spots, and also B, some players just need a rest for the cup game. And again, amateur side, I know away from home, I know we've been knocked out of by an amateur side in a cup before the season, which was very frustrating. But I feel like we should be fine. I had a look at them as well. They have one real player, like one not grayed out player, which is their captain, Adam Doyle. Here he is. He looks okay, nothing special though. And we have a look at all players for them. Everyone else is grayed out. So we should really be fine. Even if we would play our worst team out there, we're still putting out a pretty decent one because we have a 10 days break after this. But yeah, so we made some minor tweaks because this just comes 3 days after our last league fixture against Queen's University, which obviously we drew 1-1 rather frustratingly, part of the reason why we decided to make all these tactical changes. And now we will see whether those changes will pay off or not. I am hoping for the best. I feel like theoretically it all makes sense, but obviously I haven't played that much Football Manager 23 yet, so I'm not sure what works. So I'm kind of just going what works, what makes sense in my head. I'm not going to go to the press conference, as again we should be comfortable this match, and I will regret saying that. I know that, but a bit of positivity never hurt no one. As mentioned, last season, final of the cup, of this cup. This season we want to win it, so far we have been rather fortunate with the draw. We did get Donegal, which are the division vote lowest and a historic rival of ours, but before that, just amateur teams, and we're back to having an amateur team now. I feel like after this stage, it should get a bit more competitive with the teams we can draw. Quarterfinal time, of course. But we need to get there first, because I'm sure many teams have slipped up on the way there already. As last season we won against, who was it? We lost against Dollingston in the final, or was it Limavady? It was Limavady, wasn't it? Let's see, schedule last season. It was Limavady in the final, 1-0. Very painful. So Limavady are still in the competition, playing against Knockbreda. Outside of that, Belfast, one of the Linfield Swifts are still in. That was the third round. Okay, yeah, no, it's mostly, like, it's half of it, about half-ish are teams from our division now. As they believe we would concede fewer goals from outside the penalty areas if we were pushed up more. I don't want to take that risk, really. So their only real player, like the only not grayed out players, can play down that right wing. They play with Segundo Volante as well. So it could get quite spicy. Some players are not quite that familiar with both the tactical approach and their role now, but that's just growing pains whenever we do go through formation and tactic changes. We're just going to have to get through that. In terms of the team we're sending out, also distribution, we have changed up for most tactics now again, of all tactics again, to play to Andrew Ferguson, because I was kind of forcing it to play it down to the advanced playmaker, but then we would also have to have an advanced playmaker in midfield, even though we don't necessarily have to personnel for that everywhere. And the reason was because I was scared that Andrew Ferguson's slowly going to age out, so we need to prepare for life without him. But we have him now still, so why would we not make good use of him now, is my thinking. So hopefully that's going to bear some fruits for us. In terms of the lineup, talking you through it, Elliot Woods comes in for Craig Bryars because he was very tired, and also he's a little bit better in possession. So I feel like it makes sense to make that change at this stage, and also he's done well for us so far this season. Ben Mitchell comes into the team, who, by the way, whose issue we have dealt with. We have moved him down to be, because he was complaining about not playing enough, having been set as a regular starter, we have moved him down to impact sub, and he didn't have any complaints about that, which was quite surprising, but very nice. As a short-term plan, expect to play against Rathcoole. Okay, that works out well. Ferguson to start, because again, we need him so much for the system to work. Riddle down that left side, because again, Wardlow tired, Riddle that little bit better in terms of going forwards, even though he is definitely aging out and not a starter anymore. But for this game, it might make sense. Bradley Yip due to injury, Wilson and Cochrane standard midfield pairing, and Thomas Barnes and Caelan Ward, as we'd always expect. Watts coming in for the system change, because we need more of a poacher rather than an advanced forward, which would be Heron. On the bench, we've got Graham, Bryars, Owens, Turkington, and Heron, because we only have 5 spots, so we need a bit of versatility in there, and we have that with those players. And yeah, without any further ado, let's get into the cup tie against Rathcoole, and hopefully, let's do well in it. I also set up the set pieces, nothing special there. I just made us a bit more solid. As Connor Young, by the way, is now complaining about his role in the squad, because I lowered his playing time status, because he hasn't done as well as we'd hoped when he came in. He'll hopefully relax about that eventually. He wasn't too pissed, but he was a bit frustrated and no one's supporting him. So the dressing room atmosphere has also gone up a lot since the last stream. What should we do? Yeah, new tactics. We'll just tell the boys, with our hands together, stick to the plan, stay patient, and we'll be fine. As that has done nothing for no one. With our prayer hands, as they won the last few matches, obviously that's only the cup matches which are considered, because their league isn't in the game. Okay, hopefully we'll do well. Otherwise, I'm going to start panicking again and be frustrated that every time we change something, it's not working out. Maybe it's just because I'm changing too much, not seeing what the little tweaks that might help us work this out better would be. But we'll see. We do have a set of extended highlights. Normally not necessarily the game I would look at extended highlights, but again, tactical changes, always like to have a look at it. Obviously, with this tactic, we are very wide, as we can already see with our base setup here. We're looking to stretch the opposition a little bit. And then, once we do find good opportunities to go forward. We have quite a few runners on, but you can see already here a little bit of potential for them to counter us. That didn't look too nice. So there's 130 people in attendance. Ravco have brought quite a few people to this one apparently. As I don't think at this competition that our fans are super excited about it and are going to do the travel. I mean, it doesn't look like anyone's in. They have like that 4-man group pushed very far. Hopefully we're not going to give the ball away cheaply at any stage. Part of the reason why I changed the back line around as well. Lavoka is not the best in possession. As Yip has got on a very nice run there. Decided to shoot with his left foot instead of sliding someone else. Sliding someone else in. That might have been a bad decision, but otherwise, I don't mind it. That's the idea of having the wingers further back so that they can run at their men a bit more. And the highlight falls with them far forward in a throw-in position, but we win it back, and Chris Watts dropped off quite deep there. Bradley Yip looks up this time, finds Kylan Ward into Watts, shoots, it's blocked, and okay, Elwood's going to catch that one. It's not going to be a corner for us. Yeah, we set up the corners. We're just a bit more solid in terms of defending corners. We have reset them because we set them based on our starting lineup as we planned at the beginning of the season. Some things have changed since. Also, our corner taker has changed since because Young just hasn't delivered the goods. And we have a bit more aerial presence because we've swapped out Mitchell normally out of the starting lineup. So we've got 2 good aerial centre backs. Not this game, but yeah, maybe we'll get to see the changes of that. We're swinging them. We have in-swingers from both sides to the short post now when we have our first team out there. So hopefully that's going to have some positive effect for us because I don't remember the last time we scored from a corner. I think we had it like once or twice this season. And that's just not quite enough if we want to be looking towards the top reaches of the table and, you know, competing in cup competition as well. It's often difference maker set piece goals. And so we look very nice in possession. I do like what I'm seeing here. Ferguson could find Wilson again, who had a bit of space there. Riddle and Ferguson just play back and forth between each other. Look, Wilson, yeah, finds him. Wilson's going to look up into Cochrane, Ward. Maybe the wingers are a bit too far wide for us to find them. But as we predicted, they're sitting pretty deep against us. Burns is going to swing it in, back stick. Who volleyed that? Was that Wilson? That was a very nice scissor kick volley. And it's going very well for us. I'm tempted to switch it up to work the ball into the box. Might be a general consideration for this tactic. Because, you know, we are absolutely in control and creating a good amount of opportunities, but not necessarily the best quality of opportunities. So far, the idea of the tactic seems to work as Burns gets us ahead. Let's go, 1-0 to us. Tom Burns, nice combination on the throw in there. Watts very calm to play it back into Burns instead of looking for the shot himself. Look at that. Riddle just slides it across on the ground. Watts out to Burns. Beautifully spotted that pass. And Burns has got a good angle on it. Shoots it straight to the goalkeeper though, who should have done better really. That was a wonderfully played. And yeah, they get their first shot off. But with us being in the lead now, I feel like we can do one extra thing to control the game even further and slow the pace down, and also preserve a little bit of energy for our players. We have just had a game 2 days ago. Well, so we don't seem to have created anything since that goal. Everyone all around the pitch is performing pretty well. Although, freaky opportunity for them. Harmon, back stick. Okay, headed clear, and we should be fine with this. Yes, we are. Let's see, maybe we can even counter. Still have it set to counter, by the way, because I'm always going to go countering. Tom Burns, back stick to Watts. Heads. Yes, there we go. The provider turns the scorer, and the scorer turns provider. The other way around. Watts is just the Burns, now Burns is just Watts. Beautiful bromance building between these two by the looks of things. Cochrane slides in Burns with a nice slotted pass, weak-footed cross to the back stick, and Watts does very well to get away from his man and headed over the goalkeeper. It's 2-0 to us. Come on, the boys. Yeah, Burns to Watts, Watts to Burns. So some players are already showing signs of complacency out there, presumably, which is not good, especially from our 2 more experienced players. You should know that you can never be too sure, especially the 2-goal lead can be a dangerous one, as we know from FIFA commentary. Let's have a look at the data. What does the data say on our performance so far, and how the tactic is working out? I like what I'm seeing. I do like what I'm seeing. Player statistics. Also about it as we'd hope it would be. Elliot Wood obviously not performing that well in terms of finding his men, because his men are always very far pushed forward ahead of him. So he's going to have it a bit harder. Ben Mitchell with 2 key passes. That's a very good performance for him. Okay, Bradley could be doing a bit more, but you know he's not very experienced in that position, so that's fine. Kalen Ward's giving up the ball a little bit much, but he's set to take more risks, so that's fair enough. It's important to stay focused in the second half. Don't allow complacency to creep in. It's good. Andrew Ferguson reacted positively to that as well, after he was showing signs of complacency. And I think, considering how well it's been going, we don't really need to change anything. Just get back on the second half exactly as we did the first, and hopefully the result will be a similar one as well. Oh, Hoy is in straight from kickoff. What happened there? I didn't even look. I have to check my phone for a second. Luckily enough, Hegan makes a good save, and hopefully it was just a scare to begin with, and we're not going to see more of that. Good free kick opportunity for them. Who gave that away? Is that Nathan Riddle? Harmon to swing it in. Back stick. Hegan saves. Rebound blocked. Saved. And cleared. We are looking shaky to start out the second half here. Watts might have an opportunity to find his man though. Maybe Burns running on the back stick as well. Cut back to Yip, who does poorly. Look at how the XG has shot up from that. Kane Moore to deliver a free kick, back stick. Oof, too bad. Wilson shoots. Oh, it was good bit of play. What did I want to change? I don't know. That's okay. We've gotten away with one there, because if they'd scored there early in the second half, that would have started our cycle of doubting ourselves again. There's our Wood to shoot, gets blocked. They had clear. Well, that leads to nothing. Luckily, I think we'll go for work the ball into the box a bit more from now on. See, that is also a good idea against lower quality teams than ours. As Riddle is back to showing signs of complacency. So work ball into box, but time waste a little bit as well. In terms of substitutions we're going to make. We're going to do one after the other. Because obviously we want to make sure we make use of our time wasting opportunity. Jack Owens is going to come on for Caden Ward, as he's not having the best game out there. What's not good there? Yeah, sure. Our midfielders will be fine out there. Jack Owens can also try and play as an advanced playmaker on support. Just fit the tactic. Confirm those changes. Wilson takes it forward. Slides and Watts. Come on, Chris. Shoots. Ooh, good save by Elwood. Okay, change has gone through. We'll just do a change every 5 minutes now. Vargas is not having the best day out there, but Jack Graham looks complacent on the bench. So we will keep him out there. However, Nick Turkington can come on to replace a complacent Nathan Riddle. So we don't need that out there right now. Even though we are 2-0 up and look like we're in control, we're not quite cruising yet. Another goal would see me a bit more comfortable. Tarkington off the bench, back six to Yib. And he scores! Let's go! I was sure he would be offside there. But no, he is not. That's the kind of goal we haven't seen often since Lukas Adamczyk, our right target forward, left us. But it was worked out once more. Throw in, back to the throw-in taker. First time delivery, or second time delivery. Backstick, winger rises highest, and Yip nods it in, which is wonderful because he has had a bad game until this point, and that will do the world of good for his match rating, which is wonderful to see. And 3-0 now. We should really be comfortable in seeing this one out. We are gonna go more time wasting. Regroup just to preserve a little bit of energy. And we'll just trigger the press slightly more often. And now finally the final substitution will be Jack Graham. I'd be tempted to bring him on for Ben Mitchell because he's showing signs of complacency, but at this stage we should be good. Now we'll instead bring him on for Andrew Ferguson. How is Ben Mitchell on the ball? Far from ideal, but with 15 positions, he should be good enough to receive those balls. We will, however, stop preventing the short goalkeeper distribution, as that harms our aerial presence from our centre backs. So we don't want to force them to hit it long all the time. And yeah, this has gone about as smoothly as we could have hoped, except for their flurry of chances to begin the second half with. But we have performed very well. We've looked comfortable throughout most parts of the game. And it looks like it could be a very comfortable 3-4-0 win, maybe. I would like us to keep the clean sheet. Oh my god, Chris Watts! Did you see that? Just turns on a dime and hits it into the top corner from outside the area. Chris Watts looks to fight himself back into the starting lineup. As initially had it clear by them, but Burns wins it back. It's once again that combination, Burns to Watts. Takes it down, turns, and just hits it ice cold. 4-0 to us. Come on. Woo! And yeah, again, except for the flurry of chances at the beginning of the second half, we haven't really seen them threaten at all. They've had no more shots in the second half, and the first, they've not really looked that dangerous. We've got 1 minute left on the clock. Shouldn't be an end of game highlight because we have it set to key highlight, so there might still be something happening with this one. Yip takes it down the right. Plays it low back to Wood, who dinks it in. Ooh, shot from Jack Owens is blocked, and Johnny Wilson picks up the pieces and hits it into the top corner. A very, very nice performance out there tonight. Look at that. Bradley Yip on the unrushing Elliot Wood. He's got a decent delivery on him. Finds Jack Owens. He shoots, gets blocked, and Wilson just sidefoots it over the keeper. Jack Owens has been fortunate enough to have that go down as an assist from him, which is debatable, but absolutely fine by me. And yeah, look at that. Watts with a 9.8, Burns with an 8.8, 3 goal contribution for both of them. And just all the way throughout, a super solid performance, as you can see by those match ratings. 5-0, clean sheet in the bag. I'll tell the boys, very, very well done today. That was an excellent win. Obviously, we don't want to get complacent, but it was our first win in a couple of games. So I don't think we will. And the context is also against the lower tier side, as both the teams of our division also win their ties. So it's going to be quite a tricky draw in the quarterfinal stage, but you got to beat the best to be the best. We will drop some praise for some of our players. Barnsley. Quality of chances created, and then Watts will come in through the newsfeed, I think. Yes, there we go. 9.8 rating. You were superb in front of goal last time out. Keep it up. We'll send our assistant to the press conference. And Campbell has been spotted at the Diamond because he is watching Caden Ward. Shea Campbell is, of course, the boss of Armagh, who's hit a bit of buffers in the table. But I think we should be able to hold on to Caden Ward despite their interest. One of our best performers in recent weeks and throughout the season, arguably. And so, yeah, that's gone very, very well. I like it. Let us advance a day or two, and then we will. When is the quarterfinal, actually? Then we will decide how we line up for our next match, whether we take this tactic or the other one. Quarterfinal, drawn on the 32nd, okay. Matches schedule. Quarterfinal draw. The quarterfinal happened in mid-March. Okay, so we've got a good break now of 10 days. That's good. Hey Hassan, welcome in. You didn't get a notification, that's bad. You just missed us. Absolutely beating Rathercliffe in the cup tie. How is the new tactic? Well, we set up two new tactics. One for when we expect to be dominating, and one for when we expect to be the worst team, or in an away tie against a similar level opponent. This is the one where we expect to be dominating, and I know what you're thinking. You've got more men behind the ball. However, it only appears that way. It worked out very well. We won 5-0, as you can see here. I don't know if you saw the end of that, but yeah, performed very nicely. And the idea behind pushing the wingers back is that when we're in possession, we take it a bit more slowly with this tactic, so that then the wingers can pick up the ball and run at the defense. Because if they're already that far advanced, then they don't really have time to turn up and run. So that's the idea behind it. And also we're a bit less susceptible to being caught over the top, and because we just get a couple of more men behind the ball. However, when we're in possession, the players have quite an attacking approach. 4-4-1-1 instead of the advanced playmaker in here. We have it further forward, so we have a runner from deep in Wilson who can cause a bit more confusion in the back line. That is the overall idea. We're going a lot slower. We're going with a super wide approach, stretching the opposition, stopping to pass into space. This again is against team where we expect that they will stay off us, that they will want us to make the game, and we will be happy to do so. We'll counter press them though, and press them a bit higher. It's worked out well against an amateur side. We'll see how it works against teams lower down in the table than us, or home ties against teams at a similar level to us. Then we have we've brought back the tactic which we had last season, towards the end of last season, which worked so well for us, just exactly the same one. So that because it worked so well for us, I'm not the biggest fan of some of its parts theoretically, but it worked so well, so we've brought it back so that just in case if shit hits the fan, we can just revert back to it. This is that tactic, exactly as it was. And then the base idea tactic, where in matches where we expect to be either the worst team or the away side in a team against a team which is of a similar level to us, where we go a bit more direct. We want to counter a bit more route one style, but not quite. We push our wingers forward so that they're in more advanced positions, so that we can counter immediately. We have Wilson playing as a Mazzala. We stopped having a playmaker in the system because we don't want to have the ball that much, so a playmaker doesn't make that much sense. We have our right back to be defensive, just to have more solidity. And the idea is just to go a bit more direct, stay narrow, so that ball over the top and then options all the way around. Even if they're wingers, they come a bit in close a little bit, low crosses. Here we didn't change much. We went back to distributing to Ferguson, because I was trying to stay away from that a little bit, because we're not always going to have Ferguson for that much longer, and I wanted to find other options. However, I realized so long as we have him, we should use him. He's good in possession for a centre-back. We should make use of that. And I was staying a bit deeper in this one, but overall, it's not too different. It's more about how in possession we act. We're just a bit more passive with this one, and then we go very straightforward. We'll see how good this one works. This one worked very nicely, and now we have to basically make a decision who is our next match against. And what are we going to do? So it's at home against Dollingston. They are sitting above us in the table, comparable level side to ours. Should we go for the tactic where we expect to be controlling, or for the more counter-attacking one? Now, it's been very even affairs with them. I think, considering how well it worked, we will try the tactic where we expect to be controlling a bit more. The one we just used out last match, see how it works against the opposition of a similar level. And yeah, just try this one out. In terms of the personnel, tempted to stick with Ben Mitchell following a good performance. We see their scouting report. If they have a very aerial forward line, then maybe we want to switch that. But Ben Mitchell is just better in possession than Matteo Lavorca. And because we're going to expect to have a bit more possession of the system, might be a good idea. Although actually, let me have a look at the last match we had against Dollingston, how the possession distribution was. It was about even. So in a home tie, we should be able to kind of win that possession battle. Riddle we brought in because we want to rotate a bit, and also he's a bit better in possession. However, the smarter move is to go with Kai Wardlow. So a little bit better defensively, just to be sure, and not terrible going forward. Bradley, yep, didn't have the best game, did well in the end by scoring a goal, but we will bring Jack Berry back in so long as he's back from injury by that time. Johnny Wilson was there out there, of course. Aaron Cochran was there out there. Burns, Wood, Watts following that performance will also stay out there. Got a 9.8 with 2 goals and an assist. So that will be the lineup for us. And bench was also out later, but just so we make sure that we're training the right way. With the training setup tactic to be that setup to be that one, the primary one, and yeah, we'll advance, see who we draw in the cup, and look to get to that next league fixture. So yeah, got me like I sat here for an hour setting up these tactics, and got really excited to get back into it. As here today, again, most of the teams from the highest division available in this competition win. However, Moyola Park go out to Bourneview, which is always very nice. 1 or 2 amateur sides in the draw. Maybe we get a chance of playing against them. So the draw has disappeared from here. I thought it's here today on Thursday. Or was it Friday? Whichever of the two. We'll see if it comes back up. Or maybe a game has been postponed, and that's why we'll do the draw a bit later, once all the games have happened. As yeah, after the cup tie, we have a 10-day break. We're not going to schedule a friendly. I think we should have enough match sharpness around to wait out those 10 days. Arthur is sick by Moyola Park following the exit in the cup. As becomes travel coach 4th round. That's a roundup. Okay. That's good. So we can see, with the exception of Moyola Park, all the teams from our division involved progressed, so that leaves 3 teams from lower leagues still in the draw, and also the B team of Linfield apparently, which is kind of mad that they're allowed to compete in this. The most interesting one of which is Bourneview. Even though they beat Moyola Park, they are an amateur side, so I hope we get them. I have no idea who Linfield Swift are. Is that like B team or under 23s team of Linfield? Why are they allowed to compete in this cup? Are there like B teams allowed to compete in this cup? If anyone in the chat has any idea about Northern Irish football, do let me know. The only thing I have learned about Northern Irish football so far is that apparently they have a team which is the police service of Northern Ireland, and also that their second and third tier is sponsored by a food market, the Love 41's food market. Slim Vardy have just conceded 16 goals in 16 matches. Actually, just have the next time we come out of the progression, let's have a look at the XG table. We haven't checked that in a couple of matches. So it was interesting to see. Most recently, we should have been in and amongst the top, like just 1 or 2 points behind. I feel like that might have gotten a bit worse, as we didn't have the best performances out there in recent weeks. So we're sitting in 6th, 25 points on the board. We should supposedly be sitting in 2nd with 27.5 points, just 0.8 points off first armor. So actually, we have been a bit hard done by. To be fair, some teams have played a game less than us, I think. I think that should happen this weekend. Yes, it does indeed. So it might be a bit more prudent to check it then. But very tightly contested league table. But overall, you can definitely say we have been one of the more unfortunate sides, especially in the top half. Which is good, because I didn't feel like we are a good performing team. I felt like it's fair enough that we're down so far on the table, but I also feel like that we should have a better performing team. As you can see, Jamie Massey is still on top of the clean sheet charts for 7. However, some of the players who are on par with him will overtake him soon enough, as he's left the club now. Wood's training report says that the general character has had both good and negative effects on him, and has not progressed, which is a bit frustrating. So here we go, there's the cup. I feel like last 8 we can go for the automatic draw. Again, we would love Bourneview. Should we fail to get them, a home tie. Just against anyone, just give us a home tie. As we are drawn away against Dollingston, who are playing next in the league. Which is a very tricky one. One of the better sides in the league as well. But Arma and Limeradi are playing each other at least, which are also 2 of the better sides in our division. So at least one of them is going to get knocked out, which is good news for us. As Dollingston were predicted to finish fast ahead of the season. And yeah, we'll see how the dress rehearsal for that goes in the league now. So we're going to face them 2 weeks later in the cup as well. Could have gone worse. Actually, could hardly have gone worse. We could have drawn Armour, who's top of the table away from home. But yeah, again, we got to beat the best to be the best. And if things go well with our tactic changes, then we should back ourselves to do that as well. But that would be one of those ties where we probably have to go for our other tactical approach. But I would very much like to test it first. I'm a bit scared that the difference between the two is a bit too much. In the one we look to dominate the play completely, and in the other we just look to give up control of it and just attack very straightforwardly. As Limeradi and Queens play away from home against lower half teams, and Tubermore plays at home against Portsmouth. And if Tubermore wins this one, then they would climb above us and push us back down into the lower half of the table. So let's pray and hope that doesn't happen. As Queens only managed to get a draw, it's the only positive we can take away from that. And a Limeradi in a super entertaining tie, in which they were 5-1 up in, just win 5-4 with Moyola Park fighting back in the 90+4th minute. And Tubber will make easy work of Port Stewart, who look like they're kind of doomed. And yeah, push us back down into the lower half of the table. Now here we go. Let's go to the competition screen. So we are now sitting in 7th, with every team having played the same amount of matches. 2 points behind the top half, 8 points behind that second spot, which is the promotion playoff spot, and 9 points behind the top of the table. 10 games to go. It's not insurmountable. It's definitely out of our own hands. Let's see what the XG table has to say. We would still be expected to sit in 2nd, and that is very painful. Just 0.8 points behind Armour. But it is what it is. Sometimes you just get a bit unlucky, and I feel like hopefully with a couple of tactical tweaks we can do that a little bit better for the rest of the season. Otherwise, we'll look to avenge ourselves next season, I guess. As Löw is sacked by Borussia Mönchengladbach, former German national team manager, apparently was in charge of Borussia Mönchengladbach. Ryan Whiteside had a 10.0 rating in the match for Tubermore. Good for him. It takes so long to progress through. I should have made a smaller database or gotten a better computer. Let's see, let's have a staff meeting for this week. I love myself a staff meeting. Who doesn't love a staff meeting in this game? Oh, maybe it's not until next week again. Oh, there it is, staff meeting. After putting it out in training pitch, Jack Graham is not comfortable playing a short passing game. That is wonderful to hear. He now plays short, simple passes, which is something we're training on basically all our centre backs. We're not comfortable in possession. And is there any other trait we want to train on him? I do not think so. We will try and train a bit of strength onto him, so hopefully improves particularly his jumping reach. 10 strength is good for this level. A bit of more jumping reach would not go amiss. As one recommendation is Chris Watts should work on his shooting training. That's an interesting proposition. But he's already working on a trait, which we should prioritize, because otherwise he complains about too much training. Same thing goes for the suggestion from Matthew Hanna, who's now learning to be an attack midfielder. Why not? We need to end Ben Mitchell's individual aerial training because it's not yielding results. We'll try and keep going with it, but thank you for the suggestion. I recommend ending Calvin Brownlee's individual training positions. Despite working with Samson, does not seem to have improved his marking, positioning, and decisions, but he still should keep working at it. Tom, he can improve if we try to avoid to use his weaker foot. No. Ben Mitchell should knock the ball past the opponent. We don't need that on a centre back. He shouldn't go dribbling anyways. Kalen Woods needs to train and play at a higher level if he's to reach his potential. Well, I'm sorry, lad, and you're not going to do it here. Nick Tarkington's importance has diminished. He's now only another player anymore. Okay, thank you for the updates. As now they report that Kalen Woods' improvement in his game is quite remarkable. Thomas Barnes has been on a good run, reportedly. Is that actually the case? 7.36, 2 goals, 2 assists. Your form's been good recently. I never thought I'd see the day. A better computer would be nice. This is true. I did a very amateur mistake when I built this computer, in that I bought a really good setup, but then the motherboard was apparently not compatible with the rest of the computer. I thought I checked that, presumably I didn't, and then I asked my brother for help, because he knows a way about these things, and he just put in like a basic motherboard they had in that company for me, which is really nice of him, but it's just not that good, so I guess I'm going to need to replace that at some point. And then hopefully the rest of the assets of the computer, I have no idea what they are, by the way, don't ask me, should be able to push us to a stage where everything is going to work a bit more smoothly and faster. And I don't know how it is, I will try it off stream sometimes, how much of the processing time is how much is limited by the fact that I'm streaming to 2 platforms at the same time, or if that doesn't make any difference. We'll go for like a period of time with the stream being on, and then I'll try the same off stream and I'll see how it is, just because it interests me, and maybe that would lead me to go back to just streaming on one platform, because I don't really think that the reach on YouTube has made that much of a difference. Okay. So this is our lineup for this weekend. So who do we want to make available for the B team? That is the question we need to answer here. Young and Owens look like they could use it. Hannah as well. Ooh, many people look like they could use it. So Worry, Blackson, and Tumulty, probably not going to play them anytime soon anyways. Gordon, maybe not. So that's 4. Then we'll also go with John and McGill. Then the question is for the youngsters. Yip is on a heavy match load, so we're not going to do it to him yet. And Wood is playing. That's the only 2 young players, I think. So those are going to be the 5 players we sent down to the B team. Okay, Owens. Okay. This is interesting now, of course. Gonna tell Hannah. Okay, Hannah is an advanced playmaker in there anyways. Owens can just be that. Or swap these two around so that Hannah can start learning his new position. Gordon, Young should play here, and Brownlee in fullback. McGill, Domington, Clark. One thing I want to see is how is Clark performing of late. So we sent him down to the B team. So the B team now has a badge too, that's nice. He's been doing pretty okay. Well, I feel like that's fair assessment. Not been doing too well. What about the other players? Reese Watson, average, pretty average. Mr. Brownlee, the problem with these is that they're sometimes being pushed around positions which they're not that good in, just to fit in other players. Brownlee has been doing well with it though. And those are the only players we have for the B team right now, I think. About to turn over into March. The B team have a very tough task against one of the better teams in their league away from home. We'd want them to do well in the last few matches in their league because we need to achieve the prestige of finishing ahead of Queen's University, of course. Like Queen's University's B team, because they are big rivals. We're still looking obviously to do that in the league as well, personally, as that was one of the base aims I laid out this season. But right now it's not looking that well. I think they're at a second in the table. So we've got to work cut out. Where are they expected to be in terms of expected goals? Down in 6th. They're overperforming their expected points by 9. Good for them. And you know, sometimes the social media stuff of Football Manager isn't the best. We've got 1.4 million likes for some guy talking about the new manager at some first tier Dutch side, which not that many people are going to care about. Ooh, B team win 4-2 against Ballyclare. Wonderful stuff, my friends. Still an O'Prey, the great out striker, scores twice. Unexpected, really unexpected, and keeps us 2 points ahead of Queens. Very nice. Ben Gordon also scores from centre back. Good stuff. Maybe the tactic is genius. Who knows? Even against a position which is supposed to be better than them. Worth considering. Yes, February is done. We're into March. Ooh, what updates are we going to get? Finances are slowly dropping. However, if we make it back into the cup final, it got us a lot of money last season. The lineup suggestion doesn't suggest that many changes as it normally does, so that's good. Maybe we're finally onto something then. However, we're still not going to go with the one he suggests. And yeah, we're basically coming on very similar form. We've drawn one of the matches they have lost in the last 5, but other than that, 2 good teams coming into this match. So club atmosphere is dropping. Not sure why. It was Ferguson was pushed up to be a team leader. That was very good to see to have a team leader back in the team. You go, lad. Yes! We have one core social group. Now, this brings negatives with it, of course, because it means that, you know, once one player is unhappy, everyone in the social group who's like, friends with him is going to be like, hey, why did you make this guy unhappy? But it's also really good because everyone's going to like each other better. The club atmosphere and team cohesion should improve a lot more. Obviously, now it's dropped a bit because we have one unhappy player in the team, and probably other players aren't that happy that I'm not treating him that well. But overall, this is a good thing. It's a very good thing. I wanted to go, of course, first of the month. We always go through the individual training, seeing if there's something we should change. And obviously praising and criticizing the players for good or bad performances and progression. So you're saying that the aerial focus does not work for Ben Mitchell. Let's try it once again with strength focus. Maybe he can do a little bit about his low jumping reach and strength, which is what, in my opinion, stops him from being a really good player for us. Keeps him just being a bit of a rotational guy. So Ben Gordon is progressing, which is not good. Connell Young is not doing well at training, which is probably because he's a bit unhappy. As Tarkington continues to show signs of decline, which a 27-year-old is not acceptable. Johnny Wilson is doing all right. Cochrane's doing all right. Hannah hasn't improved in a while, but he hasn't seen much football though, so it's kind of fair enough. I guess at 23 years old, he'd need a bit of football. It's Tony Tumulty to show professional attitude. We haven't read that before. That's good news. Kalen Wood, however, is regressing. Was not improving it down here. Ooh, the forwards are having good performances out there. That's wonderful to see. Look at Tom Barnes. Oh, thing of beauty. This is what we play Football Manager for, isn't it? See those beautiful green arrows. Matthew Harron has been, momentarily at least, been pushed out of the starting lineup by Chris Watts, I guess. He's not having much success working on his weaker foot, so we will stop working on that, I guess. They can focus his training on other parts. A bit disappointing, because I always say strikers can't get too good on both their feet. But that's just how it is, and now finally should nothing be in the way of us jumping into that match. So Niall Johnston, B team coach, is going to study for a National B license. Now he's got 2 people management. He's an assistant manager, which means of course the sky is the limit for this guy. 2 people management, 1 judging player ability, 1 judging player potential. What a staff we've set up for a B team. No wonder they're struggling at in a similar vein as we are in the first team. The question is just, why are we struggling so much? Was it just the tactics? We'll find out. A lot of staff contracts are set to expire. We'll leave Peter McCone to deal with that. The board and supporter confidence rating remains at C+. Oh, let's check out the other email that we got. Okay, training week in review, good. The tactical familiarity for all of our 3 stars is pretty high, so that's pretty good. Should never expect to be jumping into a game and the players not having any idea where they should stand. And obviously that's why I normally like to have like one tactic which works for everything, because you don't have to worry about it. Players just know it perfectly. But it might be more sensible to have, you know, different tactics for different occasions. Yes, for this game at home against the side of a similar league position to us, probably makes sense to have a tactic where we want to dominate the play, being at home. Let's see, does anyone expect to play in this match? Guess not. Okay, so from now on, I think it's kind of the time of the season where we should look who the other teams are playing. So Limavady are away against Banbridge. Could be a place where they slip up. Top of the table right now, Limavady, but no guarantees for that. Ballymacash against Knockbrae. Again, good that these teams are playing away, even if it's against lower table opposition. Same with Armagh against Moyola Park. And Tabermore and Queen's University are playing each other, so at least means one of these teams, which we're both looking to catch, of course, will drop points. So that overall isn't a bad weekend of fixtures. And obviously with a win here, we could guarantee pushing into the top half, as Dollingston are catchable for us. 3 points ahead with the much worse goal difference. They say a lower line of engagement would go some way to reducing the number of goals we concede from inside the penalty area. We will try and go with what we have set up. In terms of who they have Maccabi. It's not the best in the air. Malone. It's not the best in the air. McAllister, who isn't. And Irwin, who isn't. So we should be. We should be very good with having Ben Mitchell in the backline, who had a good performance last time out, and in possession is one of our better centre backs. So we'll keep him out there. The rest of the lineup also already considered. It's going to be Hegan, Wood, Mitchell, Ferguson, Woodlow in the back 5, Wilson and Cochrane in the midfield centre, Barry and Burns at the wings, and Ward attack midfield, Watts up front. Hopefully, we can continue on from our 5-0 dominating win in the cup last time out. I'll save the game before we get into it. And yeah, let's see how this tactic works in the league against a bit better quality opposition. As Dollingston, so far we have presumably only drawn against when we had a look back at our previous meetings with them. So we'll see if finally this fixture can produce a winner. I'll tell the boys, if you carry your last performance in this match, we'll do well. We did so well, even if it was against worse opposition. Let's skip on through, but we set it to extended highlights because we want to see how this tactic works out now. First time we're trying it in the league. We've got 120 people in attendance. It's one on the lower parts of recent weeks, to be honest. I'm not sure why that might be. There's first highlight for them and going in advanced position. Malone back to Moore, who's got a shooting opportunity here. And luckily he absolutely miscued that. But that was a dangerous spot that they were in there. Should never let that happen from a throw in. There's so much space to run into in the far post. One thing that's working out with tactics so far is the keeping possession. Creating chances with that approach, though, not yet looking that good. A couple of yellow cards already picked up on the left-hand side of our defense. Let's have a look at Irwin. Like he's caused us trouble. He's got 15 acceleration, 15 agility. Look at that. Oh, he's a regen as well. Doesn't quite have the best dribbling or flair, so he shouldn't be that impossible to stop. So hopefully we will avoid catching another yellow card. As Ward sends over a free kick. He's been a good run of form. Come on. It's the crossbar and no one's there to turn the rebound. Barry picks it up, gives it away cheaply. And let's go see the end of the highlight. Yes. No. Wilson turns. Slides through Barry. Slides across. What? No, come on. Burns again. Into what? He scores at a second time of asking. Let's go. Oh, that's what I'm talking about. Keep on asking the question. Good stuff. First few shots we've created this game, I think. And we've taken one of them. Look at that. Wilson with a lovely slid pass through to Barry. Was really should have scored there, but the man just about got in the last second. Burns crosses it back into him. Does a wonderful header into the top corner there. And we're 1-0 up. Come on, Chris Watts is back. Yes, early season Chris Watts is back. As we know and love him. Let's have a look at the league table. Pushes up into us up into 6th as Tubblemore currently beating Queens, which is overall not necessarily bad for us. Even though it keeps Tubblemore away from us, it puts Queens in a bit closer. We will make that one trigger where we control the possession even more, slowing the pace down in our distribution. And just one thing I'm hoping for is that these two boys on the left-hand side of our defense don't give away another yellow card. So far it's looking like it's working okay. Wilson to Barry. Back to Johnny. Okay, very methodical. Good pass through to Barry. What can he do from here? Ah, he's offside. This would be a lovely result. Would leave us within 7 points of top of the table. I think we started this game out with 9 points. Let's just make sure we get this win. So many times this season have we been in won the lead. As Wilson could be in. He's going to shoot. He's going to get tackled. Penalty. We haven't had a penalty in ages. And Watts is on the pitch. And Watts always scores these. He's going to have a talking with BT. Doesn't get a card. Come on, Watts. I have no doubt that he's going to score this, to be honest. I don't think we've seen a miss so far this series. And he converts it. Let's go. He often goes into that corner. Even with the keeper there the right way, they don't have a chance. 20th goal of the season. I should have never dropped that man. It was very harsh on him, to be honest. As much as we brought in someone who should have been a star forward for us in Matthew Herron, he fits the system better, Mr. Watts. And he's proving that he's just a better finisher out there. 2-0, come on. As I would argue, we do good stuff for goal difference, but considering the points total we have a good goal difference anyways. The only team which are like in a bit even better position considering that is Armour. If they already had to make a full substitution for injury, that's probably not going to hurt us either. Ward standing over this one again. Far out for a shot. He's going to take it on. Buchanan saves it off the crossbar. And they got away with one there. Cochrane looks over the top. That's a wonderful ball to Barry. Crosses. Burns with the header. What a ball that was from Cochrane to Barry. Not something you'd associate with a ball-winning midfielder, but apparently he can pull them off every once in a while. And the tactic is looking strong out there. Whew. Ben Mitchell hasn't found his man much, which is a bit disappointing. But other than that, everyone's looking like they're performing pretty decently. Mitchell winning a couple more aerial duels. Okay, now it's looking very good overall. We're ahead on the scoreboard and we certainly deserve to be given how much we've created, so I'm pleased. Do either of them have a competitive streak? Wardlow doesn't. Ferguson, I think, maybe does. No, he doesn't. As Ferguson, presumably, is just considered a 2-star current ability player for us now anymore. It's a bit worrying. Go for a little bit of time wasting. Can't be too careful against opposition such as this. But other than that, I think we'll go with exactly the same lineup and approach as we did in the first half. We only have Jack Graham on the bench. That's a bit poor for me. We should have had Mr. Lavorka out. That's really poor for me. I just didn't change the bench from what we had in the cup tie. I should have had a look at that. That is my bad. I don't know what happened there. Normally I'm very careful with these things. And we start to highlight with them in possession. I feel like we've seen enough of the tactic now. We'll switch it down to key highlights. Not like I think this game is in the bag, but we've seen the tactic working. We don't need to make any tweaks there. Just want to be informed if something major is happening. As Queen's University looked to have gone back in front against Tobermoor. I thought Tobermoor were winning. Not. Okay, that's a bit of a problem. At least it's 8 points behind them. Puts obviously our rivals on top of the league. So here is that fast highlight of the second half. 58th minute. Weak minute back here. Mitchell over the top. Watts in for the hat-trick. Oh, off the post. Ward, can he convert? Yes! Let's go! How has Watts been awarded with the assist there? By shooting off the post. That's saved and then off the post, but Ward is there to tap it in. He's having a poor game out there, but I don't mind it, so long as the team is performing well around him, and then he ends up scoring as well. They're off the post, off the keeper, and Ward is there to tap it home. You have to be in a position, you know. Well done on him, and pushes his performance up to a 7.3. That's just fair enough. So we don't have anyone to bring on for Cairo. No, we do have Tarkington. I'm not too sure about that one. I don't want to risk a red and start giving up this 3-goal lead. So we'll take him off. Jack Graham will come on there. Still preventing the short goalkeeper distribution. And other than that, we'll leave things as they are. We've got a 4 weeks break after this one. It all counts, but the tactic is working. Tactic is working wonders. The problem with this working so well is obviously that I'm now going to think maybe we should play it even in the games where we're not expected to be the better side, or the side that's dominating possession. You know, we've got an away tie against Limavady, who are sitting towards the top of the table. Should we keep it up there or not? As they could be in on the left here, or McAllister. Malone. Whoa, what a save by Hegan. How does he hang on to that? Hopefully the changes we made in defense won't lead to us giving up space in behind now. So that was a bit of a sleepy defending there. So why not go for frequent time wasting? I confirm those changes. So yeah, we've got an away tie against Limavady next. Should we go with the same tactic or not? So Ward is in on the left here. Slides back to Barry, into Wilson. Can't quite get it in. Ward to deliver. See how the new corner tactic is working. Not that good. We could be in for being countered. No, we're not. Okay, very well. Changes. Owens can come on for Caelan Ward. Owens can take over the advanced playmaker role. There's not necessarily any other changes I want to make. We can bring on Connell Young for Cochrane. And I think that's it. Keep the tactic as it is. It's working. Got a week's rest after, so it should all be good with this. That growing a bit frustrating, picking up yellow card after yellow card. It's good to see. They are now on a -1 goal difference. They were predicted to finish fast, right, when we looked at it. This is also very good signs. Obviously, we got it in a cup quarter-final. This is very good signs for that match. This is win a cup quarter-final. Yeah, we think as things stand, we're back to just being 7 points behind the league leaders. However, there's like a pack of 3 which are slowly getting away from us. Vardy top of the table right now, having equalized against Banbridge, but it looks like it's a weekend where it's going to be good results for us. 3-0 win to us, and it looked like other teams towards the top have also dropped some points. It's wonderful to see. Let's get into the dressing room. I should rather say that's about as good a win as you're likely to see. We should just be swimming the wave of confidence for the moment. Not any worries about complacency yet. It's just been a couple of very good matches. So results around the ground. Vardy have failed to win away from home against Banbridge, that they equalised with a penalty. Ballymaccash lost to Knock Raider, very good. Armour failed to win against Moyola Park with a sending off in the 29th minute and the 92nd minute equaliser. Let's go, Moyola! Wow. And Queen's University failed to win away from home against Tobermoor, where there's an equaliser scored by Kurtz. Perfect result for us. It gives us the opportunity to overtake Tobermoor, and Queen's University don't pull any further away from us. So yeah, Wissling in 5th, 1 point behind 4th. However, 5 points behind 6 behind that promotion playoff spot, and 7 behind 1st in the table. 9 games to go. It's looking a lot more attainable after this match day. Let's not get carried away. Amazing win, absolute fair shout. However, one thing we do have to consider, we're playing away from home against Limavady now, and I don't know which tactic to use. As there was speculation about me presumably sending a team out with the intention of hurting one of the opposition players. I didn't specifically say that, but I'm also not opposed to players doing that. What's the dynamics saying following that win? Well, not that much better, to be fair. Thought that would have lifted us very much so. Social groups all remain in their core social group. Very nice. It's just Cornel Young who's causing the problems. Mitchell is still concerned about his playing time. Really? He's set to be an impact sub? Very well. So, I don't know. What do you guys think in the chat? Should we go with this tactic that we have just introduced and got a 5-0 and 3-0 win with? How it has a away tie against an amateur side, a home tie against a team of a similar level to us, but not necessarily the best run of form going into it. Now we're playing away against top of the league. It's a different kettle of fish, I feel like. Let's try it. You mean let's try it by sticking with the same tactic, or trying the other new tactic for the other kind of matches? If it ain't broke, don't fix it. So you're saying we stick with it? I think so too, to be honest. It worked so well. Maybe we've just stumbled on something fantastic. Kai Wardlow hasn't done the best out there of late. We'll criticize that, but we will keep him out there. Higher standard if you want to be in the first team. Eggs or Knödel? Well, that's not the question I expected in response to that. As Mika asked me what I want for dinner. Thank you very much for cooking, darling. I will move for Knödel, but I'm totally down for eggs if you want to do that. Yeah, I don't think we should change any of the personnel from that match either. Worked out very well with them out there. So we will just advance and let the next week come at us. I've put the water to the boil. I'm going to think about it in the meantime. Bye. Okay, very well. Do you want to do boiled eggs, or is it just in case you want to do the Knödel? But good luck on making a decision. My girlfriend's the coolest. Knödel, by the way, for anyone who doesn't know, are dumplings in German. Very much an Austrian speciality. It's just in case I'm going to regret my choice. Forget about FOMO, Mika. Just do what you feel like. You have the boiling water time to understand what it feels like. Think about the energy costs. Boiling that water. But I'm sure you're going to make the right decision in the end. As I hope we're going to make the right decision with the tactic, sticking with it for this game. But the good thing is, like, even if we want to, if it's not working, we want to switch to the other one. The personnel we send out there would not be largely different. This can influence my choice what the electricity costs. As Nicholas Turkman is finally comfortable of knocking the ball past the opponent, I think that's the third time we tried to train them on him. And it has now worked. Is there any other trait we'd like him to have? No, not really. He should just finally be a bit better in everything. You know, mentally off the ball, technically. It's just not a very good footballer when we look on him, at him, to be honest. Yeah, let's let him work on defensive positioning, I guess. Attacking movement. Heron capable of rounding the goalkeepers. That's very good. I feel like he should be very, very good at taking the ball around the goalkeeper once he's in on a one-on-one. Because he's got 7 finishing, 7 composure, 7 technique, so not necessarily best on finishing in one-on-one, but that 12 dribbling, that 15 acceleration, if he's in one-on-one and he can like open up the angle by dribbling past the keeper, that should make him very, very efficient. I think that's all we'll train on him for now. We'll go for a bit of an attacking movement training schedule. Or should we go for a shooting one? Or find a third one? Let's see what kind of results attacking movement goes. Sorry for the advertising break. No farms or Knödel Factory paid me. Hashtag no sponsor. No ad. Alright, look at that. A handsome man has been sacked from his job at Rubin. Can I find him again? Look at that. Sharonov. What a handsome man. Who is he? Roman Sharonov. 8 caps for Russia. Good looking fella. Let's keep winning. Yes, let's keep winning. Hopefully, a away win against Limavady, top of the table, would be massive. Massive. They are what, 7 points ahead of us? So we could close the gap onto like 4 points. Whew, that'll be something. I mean, obviously, it depends on how Queens and Armagh play. But potentially, we could close the gap onto 4 points of that automatic promotion spot after we were, what, 9 points behind just a game ago. This could be huge. Did you see the statistics on distance covered per game? The players in this division, like 2 of our team were on the top, I think. So have a look if that pops up again. Obviously, I could look for our statistics, but too lazy. So actually have a quick look at the top goal scorer charts where Chris Watts is on there. Because if he keeps on going on that run of form, who knows where he could stand at the end of the season. He's got 11 goals in the league. No. He could still get that second spot with Keanu Rafferty sitting at 14, but Alex Pomeroy scored 21 in 18 matches. He started all of them. Yeah, he looks like a very good player, to be fair. 11 jumping reach combined with that kind of pace, 12 finishing as well. Double decent. Yeah, no Chris Watts though. With 12 finishing, I can see why. Yeah, gets into position and then is able to score them. all you need at this level. So even if he's not got the best decisions and composure at this level, you can get far enough away from like if you have the right physical attributes, you can get far enough away from any marker that you don't need to stay that composed. You can just hit it. Okay, way against top of the table. Then that intermediate cup quarter-final tie. Important weeks in the season, very important weeks. Their run of form has been okay of late. They struggled past Moyola. They didn't get the win against Banbridge. 3-3 against Armour. Ooh, before that, Ballymacash and Donington defeats. So they might well be there for the taking. That's a tender press conference. Big game. We've not long to go until the end of the Limavady are currently on a 3-match unbeaten league run and lie in first place in the Loughborough Premier League. Do you think Limavady showgrounds will see victory for them against the league leaders? For us now, well, I don't understand. There's always a chance because their best players are capable of winning any match. It'll be tough for us. There's no doubt about that. We're a pretty good team ourselves, and I know we've got a chance if we play our usual standards. Given how well P.S.N.I played against Donington, presumably you'll be asking for more of the same here. Those performances give us the confidence. Paul Wells has kept 3 clean sheets in 4 matches against him. Do you have a plan to overcome this particular obstacle and finally make the breakthrough? Streaks are there to be broken, and we're going to find a way through here. How much of a role has Alex Pomeroy played in Limavadi's United success in your opinion? Of course, he's going to play us now. Yeah, he's got absolutely top qualities. William Rory has, of course, announced his decision to retire at the end of the season. Do you think it's the right decision? It's definitely the right decision. He's had a good career, but he's not the player he once was. I always said so since he's picked up that injury. How important is it that players like Tom Hegan are ultra consistent from one match to the next, and how easy is it for you to pick the team as a result? Tom is as dependable as they come. How much do you rely on Thomas Barnes' physical excellence when going about planning for each match? I think he's a manager's dream, especially in recent weeks. He's done really well to turn his fortunes around at the club. Let's talk about Johnny Watson. He's surely got the ideal profile for this match. When you've got as much as in your locker as Johnny has, you can't help but make a difference. Saturday's match will see you coming up against the Limavady United side, who have been gaining a lot of plaudits for their quick passing game. What do you think the style of football Andrew Law has gotten them playing? I'll smile warmly and say I'm a big fan. Do you fear coming up against Andrew Law and Limavady United? I'm not afraid of them. They're good. We're better. Pointing our finger. Good. As that hasn't changed our relationship with Neil Stewart. We're still close. Going out for dinner every second Friday, not every Friday. It's what it is. We've accepted that now. We're not trying to pursue Neil Stewart's favour any longer. What a nice guy Andrew Law looks like. Wow, look at those training performances. No one in the worst. And 9.0 for Thomas Barnes. Keep it up, lads. And I should warn you, I don't want to be a tease, but this will most likely be the last match of the stream. I know we've got the cup quarterfinal after. I'd love to get through it today, but my girlfriend's kind enough to make me dinner. I don't want to be late for that, so we will take care of Limavady, hopefully successfully, and then we'll end it for tonight. And obviously tomorrow I won't be able to stream as well, and we will then be back on Sunday with that cup quarterfinal. Okay, so let's see what's going on around the league. So Armagh, who are in the top 3 pile, are gonna play at home to Banbridge. Banbridge just come off a very good result with the draw against Limavady, but it's tricky when Armagh playing at home. Ballymacash at home to Crewe United. So you'd expect those 2 teams above us to get all 3 points. Same for Queen's University playing at home to Knock Breda. So not much ground to be made up, but should we beat Limavady United, we'll at least get 1 point closer to the top of the table, which would see us 6 instead of 7 points behind it. So let's get it done. I believe in it, boys. Believe. So the Northern Irish Cup is already down to the quarterfinal. Portstewart are still involved. My God, Portstewart, one of the worst, or the worst side of the league, arguably. Is that assist recommends to go in balanced, and I think that might be one minor tweak we make to the tactics for today's game. Starting in on balanced. And just seeing how it goes. If it goes well, then we'll drop it up to positive. But I feel like just being a bit careful to begin with, not being too optimistic might not be a bad idea. Now, I asked, do you have a favorite team that you support? Don't really. I don't have that like fan gene. Do you know what I mean? Like I'm from Salzburg, so I hope Salzburg do well because I like them bringing good football into the town. And you know when they advance in the Champions League. Obviously, there's good football to be watched, so you can call me a bit of a plastic in that sense. But other than that, you know, I used to like Roma, but I don't really follow Serie A that closely anymore. Although more now in recent years again, because you know it's gotten so much more exciting recently with Juve dropping off, and also my girlfriend's from around Rome, so getting into that a bit more again. But I don't really have one team which I say this is my team. What about you? What's your favorite team? Let's have a quick look. What's the aerial prowess saying? Pomeroy is okay in the air. Kyle and Brennan. Brown. Okay, not sure if Ben Mitchell is the right choice for this match. He's been playing so well, I don't want to drop him. That's better safe than sorry, isn't it? We'll bring in Lavorka. Because they do seem to have a bit more aerial presence, and Ben Mitchell were just not going to win many aerial duels. So I think that's a smart choice. So we are, in fact, going to make one change to that successful team of last weekend. So Man United, yeah, I remember that now. True, we talked about that. A lot of drama around Man United in recent years, isn't it? Especially lately with the Ronaldo saga. But for you, at least, that chapter is closed now, isn't it? We'll see how it continues for him. But it's too bad, because what a player he was for you once. Can't necessarily say that anymore. Okay. Team set up, I think. We will go. Did we already save it? I don't know. Better 110 too many. 110 too little. And let's go to changes next match only, and let's drop it to positive to begin with. Go to match. I'm a bit scared that the entire tactical idea is not going to work out that well with us having a no-nonsense centre back in there, because you know we play the ball around the back line a little bit sometimes, and then having that one guy who just tends to hoof it might not be ideal, but it's better than risking always being beaten with a long ball and always losing out the aerial duels with Ben Mitchell in the lineup. So recent form setting have Limavady in 9th, Oswald in 6th. So yeah, that actually we'll go for that shot. No, we'll go for the. If you carry a last performance into this match, we'll do well. So that works pretty well with most players. I think we're gonna go for a bit of Jesus juice for the ones that it didn't work for. Because we can use every little boost in a big game like that. I have faith in you. Okay, everyone seems positively influenced by the team talks ahead of time. They have many faces in that team, which always scares me. Like there's about 4 fans in attendance. Doesn't look like that many actually. I never know if they actually counted. I don't think so. Let's see. Match stats 171. Yeah, didn't look like that. Okay, let's go, boys. We're gonna go for extended highlights. We want to see if something's going wrong with the tactics. Fast highlight might fall to us though. Cochrane on it. Nice switch on his left foot to Berry. What can he do? Give away the ball stupidly. Ferguson wins the aerial though. Pomeroy, the danger man, scares me, of course. Oh, I thought that would go through to what? At least Ronaldo saga is done, and Glazers are potentially selling the club, which makes me really happy. This is very true. But how is that English saying? Like you'd rather have the devil you know than the one you don't. You have no idea who's coming in next, and shit, Pomeroy wins that one back. And we got caught napping in possession, and Pomeroy, top striker of the league, proves worthy of that title once more. Ferguson, one of our better players in the defensive line in possession, gives it away cheaply and ice cold, that man. Yeah, you know, like you might get an owner in who's willing to spend the money, but you might have it with a bit of a bad taste in your mouth, you know, much like Newcastle have it. You never know what's going to happen in football these days. And it's just so expensive that it's only going to be people who see profit in it. So I doubt that, you know, there's any guarantees of like an ownership group coming in which just have the best interests of Manchester United at heart. It might just be someone again who wants to have it as a milking cow to make more money, or wait for the value of it to go up to sell it again. It's a dangerous tackle, but it did work out in the end. I can't be worse than the Glazers. I wouldn't be so sure about that. I really hope for Manchester United and for your sake that it's not, because it's a big club and belongs somewhere else than it has been in recent years. But I really wouldn't be so sure about that. Ooh, Brennan, good free kick position. Gilhat's just wide. The problem is now, of course, that they have gone ahead and scored and are 1-0 up. The other tactic, the idea of it is, of course, that the team still looks to go at us and they can relax a bit more now. So I'm not sure how well it would work. We might switch over to it in a second. That's such a stupid way to give up a goal. We're going to go attacking positive. A couple of minutes, see if that helps us out a bit. Wardlow goes into Ward. Cochrane, Wardlow. Come on, let this be our highlights. I've got some wonderful switches on Mr. Cochrane. Barry can't do anything with that though. It could be them being in. Wood has got some chasing to do here with Brennan. Let's not give away a penalty. Pomeroy. Quinn. Shit. It's 2-0 and I can feel promotion slipping away from us. Club needs massive investment in terms of stadium facilities, playing staff in general. It needs overhauling. No one is going to buy the club that isn't going to invest in it. That's a fair shout. Plus, the Premier League made an anti-glazier clause, which means that they can't take a dividends for 10 years, whoever buys the club. No, that's a very fair shout. Yeah, for like the sporting future of Manchester United, it is probably, you know, the success they're going to have is probably going to be a good thing. However, don't take any guarantees that means long-term you will have a sustainable and likable business model. If all you care about is your club doing well, then you're probably right that it's going to get better. That's a fair assessment. I'm going to berate the boys. It's not good enough out there. The shot comes through. Yeah, no, it has. Finally a shot. Let's go. I didn't know about the anti-glaziers clause, whatever it is. Ward to deliver a free kick from deep. Come on, let's go from this. Ward's going to pick it back up. Goal before halftime would be huge. Ward another opportunity to deliver. Still can't find his man. Ferguson looks to make up for his error. Good effort from distance. Maybe you can head it in from the corner now. Looking for that short post. Walker and Ferguson going in there. Oh, Walker's very positioned cheaply. That will see the end of the highlights. Oh no, not a good free kick opportunity for them. Hegan just about parries it away and Walker clears. And they've just looked a cut above today. Especially Mr. Alex Pomeroy. They've been able to hold on to him throughout the season. It's quite something. Now, I don't necessarily want to say it was a bad idea to stick with this tactic. It might well have worked out. Had the start of the game gone differently and they hadn't scored early, it might have been worth a shot to go with the other one. Can of course try to switch it now, but as I said, it works better when a team is looking for a goal still, and they're not going to be necessarily looking for a goal any longer. Yeah, I'll just go for the classic on a much better display in the second half. Push our wingers on. Go a little bit more narrow, maybe get them a bit more involved. Up that tempo a little bit. Keep all the other triggers the same. Let's see what we can do in the second half. Not looking good so far, no, it's really not. That's the thing, just one lapse in concentration by a player you wouldn't expect it from, and they're in. Then giving away a stupid set piece. Just how it goes sometimes. We'll just have to put the work in to maybe somehow turn it around again. You never know. Stranger things have happened in football. This would be terrible. It would leave us 10 points behind with 8 games to go. The highest thing we'd be able to hope for from then on would be that promotion playoff spot, really. Wilson was inside. A good week for the shots. Tests wells. As we've looked more lively since pushing it to positive. Barnes, by the way, Pastor usually picked up an early yellow card. It's just what he does. Yeah, wingers have bad days at the office, so we will take them both off. Heron on, Yip on. Wood can play as the attack midfield on attack. Try Wilson as a Mazzala on support. Chris Schwartz hasn't looked at his best today, but try and continue going with him. I'd be tempted to bring on Bryas, but he just doesn't bring what we need offensively. Maybe we'll bring on Young for that position in a bit, but now we'll leave Wood out there, see what he can do. Go a bit more direct. Tempo further, stay positive for now, but we'll push it to attacking soon enough. Encourage. Throw in down the left. Oh god, they've got a red card. They've got a red card. Dunlop with a really stupid tackle. I think it's going to happen outside the box. Good free kick opportunity though. We'll see what comes with this free kick. And then we'll decide if we want to make any changes following them getting a red. Okay, nothing comes from the free kick. Another highlight here though. Oh, this could be our ticket back into it. Wilson slides back to Wood. I'm not quite sure what that was. Walker across to Wardlow. Cochrane has had a couple of good switches this game. Not this time. Over the top though. Good tackle back. What was that? Yeah. Come on then. Wood finds Heron. Back stick. Not the best cross. Yip shoots though. It's wide. Guess they're playing narrow. So we'll continue playing fairly wide. Passing rate slightly shorter, tempo higher. I think we will try that. Slightly higher might be a good idea too. To shoot it quickly because they're not going to try and press us anyways. We're going to go for long balls though. Should we drop off more? No. Should we press more often? They won't mind that going long. We'll keep all the other things as they are for now. I think we have a pretty good setup actually, also with them a man down. Because the setup we've put in here is actually anyways when teams aren't looking to press us. I go for one more shot of encouragement. If we haven't gotten anything after those 10 minutes, we're going to go for a demand more one. I don't know if I want to go attacking or if that's too panicky already. I'll make Wilson back to central midfield on attack. How's Jack Owens done as that? Advanced playmaker when I brought him on. Not ideal. Give a bit more time to Kalen Ward. We'll make him an advanced playmaker on attack. Needs to dribble more. On support. Stop Cochrane from holding a position. He can push up if he wants. Woodlow gets further forward anyways. Wood can too. Gonna bring on Connolly Young. Offers a little bit more in possession. All the other players on the bench, I don't know. We'll bring on Ben Mitchell because he's also that bit better in possession than Lavorka. Come on, boys, show me something. Let's go attack and let's panic. Oh no! Highlight cancelled. Hopefully it wasn't because of that. Demand more. Jack Owens still sitting on the bench, motivated. We'll give him the opportunity to come on for Kalen Ward. He can play this in his attack midfield support role. Wardlow is going to play as a wing back on support. Whatever. Up the tempo even more. Play for set pieces, anything that helps really. Oh, that's not. Press more. Confirm. Come on, come on. Highlight 84th. Come on. Let's score here. Let's get them panicky. What? Come on, Chris! No! Oh, Wells has done well to come out there and meet him. And Watts is having a terrible day out there, just when we don't need him to. Young to deliver that corner. I'm not sure how much I like Young delivering the corners. Blocked. We're gonna have a look at this one, but if it's not good, then I will set Heron to be delivering the corners. Because even though he's got like 8 corner taking, which is the highest in the team, he doesn't have the technique to take good set pieces. Owens! We'll set Heron as the taker. I feel like that needed to go in. There we go. Corner. Young to take again. Why? Prove me wrong, lad. So Ferguson had it clear. Doesn't prove me wrong. Mitchell picks it up. Out to Heron. Can he deliver? Owens. What? Come on! Back in it. Woo! Oh, I was going to yell at Owens for not scoring that one, but Watts is there to pick up the pieces. We had Heron hitting the byline, low ball across. Watts should have scored, but Watts is there to pick up the pieces. And he doesn't care if he's having a bad day out there. He knows where to stand. So, set piece takers. It worked out in the end, but Heron should be taking them at this stage. Okay, come on, show me more. Encourage them one more time. Come on, boys. They must be starting to doubt it. If they can carry this home. Please, one more opportunity. Throw in 1.5 minutes to go. Egan has that one. Come on. Let's get that draw. I know we were dreaming of a win, but that draw would be so big. Coming down back from 2 goals down to keep us in that promotion push. We give away the ball though. Could be theirs. Wardlow wins it back. Come on. I'm not sure what he was trying to achieve with that. Back into the center. What's heads? Well, saves. It was offside. Yeah, that was it. Highlight continues through, but I think this is going to be the end of game highlight. We pushed them hard. We didn't do well this match. We only started doing well once they had a man sent off. So we've got no one but ourselves to blame. They've given us an invitation back into the game. It's not looking like we're going to be successful in taking it, as that is not the kind of pass we need at this stage. As that would be if Watts would have made the right one, but he didn't. Full time. 2-1 defeat to Limovadi, and that's the title gone. That's the minimum we can say at this stage. That is the title gone. It's obviously the match has favoured us because we were able to go for it, but that giveaway by Ferguson, Pomeroy, their man of the match. Yeah, disappointed we should have won that match based on the chances we created, but like we needed to win that match, basically is what I'm saying. Yeah, that sees them push 10 points clear of us, 8 matches to go. Armagh also 8 points clear of us in that promotion playoff spot following their win against Banbridge. Queens pick up a draw. It's going to be a very, very tough battle. For now, next stream we need to make sure we stay in the top half, that we have even a theoretical chance, and also achieve the board expectation. And then it might just be a case of having to push for it next season. We gave it a good effort in the end in this match, but sadly it was not quite to be. And yeah, it's a very, very disappointing end to the stream, I guess. Now another question that poses itself is, of course, oh no. Oh, Thomas Burns. Why do you have to pick up so many yellow cards all the time? Thomas is suspended for the cup tie against Dollingston. That means we'll have to either call upon Parkington or James Clark down that left-hand side. Need to stay top half. Oh, we will. We will. I'm sure we will. What are the league ties we still have left? Got Banbridge, Armagh, and Loyola Park. We should be able to win 2 of them, 3 of those. You never know what we can do against Armagh. So yeah, we'll be out without Thomas Burns for the most important game of the season so far, the quarter-final of the Intermediate Cup. It might all end in heartbreak. But yeah, no, that's where we'll leave it for tonight. Thank you very much for joining me. Viewers, let's go for a bit of a raid. Let's see who is alive. Oh no, wait. Before we do that, actually, let me make the decision first, then we'll do that donation. Twitch.tv. See who's streaming Football Manager right now. Oh, I have to put in like, yeah, Football Manager 2023. Let's go a bit further down here. Friday night drafting. Ooh, man's doing a draft stream. Let's do that. Mother. Okay. Mother. Interesting. Let's see what's going on there. Yeah, but before we end off, of course, as we'll see you on Sunday, I hope. We're gonna do our donation towards our Boycott Qatar 2022 fundraiser. Raising money for the migrants.rights.org organization. 10 euros we put in tonight again to work ourselves towards the 750 euro goal. If any of you want to do that part, you can find the link in the about tab of my Twitch and YouTube. And any little help is appreciated. And yeah, thank you very much for joining me on stream tonight. I hope you have a lovely start to your weekend. And we shall see each other on Sunday. Goodbye. Oh, as I had to click ready to raid before, and now we have the 10-second countdown again. And I just sit here awkwardly, not knowing what to do. Here we go, right now.